Hey, Coach Roger Cador here. There's something about teamwork that brings the best out in any business. When I need a tow, I call Roadrunner Towing. Roadrunner's 4 generations strong and homegrown right here in Baton Rouge.
Thanks, Coach. There's no job too large or too small. Call Roadrunner for quick, reliable, exceptional service. We don't want an arm and a leg. We just want your toes. And remember, take time each day to be a blessing to someone. Thank you.
Getting a letter from the IRS that you owe back taxes can be scary, but it doesn't have to be. Call Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040 today. We'll help stop garnishments, levies, and seizures immediately. With over 35 years of dealing directly with the IRS, our team of local professionals will help you pay the least amount possible. So if you owe back taxes to the IRS, you need help. Call the tax professionals at Go Tax Resolution in Lafayette at 337-420-1040. Your go-to tax relief.
Some Baton Rouge business travelers travel out of Baton Rouge. Some don't. The ones that do know BTR is all about being closer, more convenient, with non-stops and short hops to anywhere their business takes them. They also know not flying BTR means more traffic, longer lines, and wasted time. So if it's about going from driveway to runway with a lot less highway, isn't it about time you flew BTR? Baton Rouge Metro Airport. It's about time.
Hi. For many years, I had to make tough decisions for my team and players. The decision for you is quite simple. If you have a house that is in need of repair, call my friend Dale. Dale buy houses. Recently, I spoke with Dale about my property. He gave me all of the do's and don'ts. He wanted me to be smart about the decision I was going to make. You ought to be smart too. Call Dale. He buy houses.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Roger Cador Show. Clarence Buggs along with the coach at Scoreboards, Baton Rouge's newest sports grill, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We start this week's show talking LSU Tiger football. Coach, with all the talk about defense coming into the LSU-Texas game, I don't think a whole lot of folks saw a shootout like this materializing.
No, they probably didn't, you know, and the thing about LSU, they showed a little different on offense. They spread things out. They went pro style. They threw the ball. Burroughs was really nice in throwing the ball to all those great athletes.
Yeah, you say nice. I'd say he was magnificent. And it seems like he is just tailor-made for this new offense. As a matter of fact, this is the kind of offense he grew up in. Yeah,
well, it looked like Kate taught him how to do all of that. She went out and showed him how they should be precise in running their routes. And she said, once he breaks, you got to throw it before once he breaks, release that ball.
Right. Well, let's roll highlights from the second game of the 2019 season for the LSU Tigers. Coach, there's an old saying that good coaches get good assistants. And Coach O hiring Joe Brady over from the Saints certainly fits that bill, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Well, you have to hire good assistants because they're going to eventually make you look good. And let's face it, at that level, you need all the good assistant coaches you can so they can coach players up.
You look at the 2 goal line stands early in the game by LSU. Those were huge for the defense, weren't they?
Yeah, because they weren't stopping anybody late.
Right.
But, you know, so those first 2 stopped. And you got to give Texas credit. They went for him. The coach went for him because he felt he could score.
Right.
But they were able to stop him and then take the ball down the field.
LSU had 3 receivers with over 100 yards each. That's insane for an LSU team, but it's a lot of fun to watch, isn't it?
A lot of fun, and I think it's the first time that has happened.
Ever.
You know, so it was a very good, entertaining game to watch and see it. And it's good for Coach O to see his team really step up and do well. I'm proud of what my homeboy did.
Conventional wisdom says a new offense like this is obviously exciting for the fans to watch, but it also should reap a lot of benefits because when it comes to recruiting, who wouldn't want to play in an offense like this?
Well, you know, one thing you got to understand about high school kid coming into college, they all think they're going to go pro.
Right.
They all want to play in the pro style offense. because they're thinking that I'm going to play in the NFL on Sunday. So it makes it a lot easier to recruit some of the top flight athletes.
It also, conventional wisdom would say, would make it tougher for other coaches, particularly because we got to think about down the road, Alabama. When you remove that predictability from your offense, it makes it tougher for other teams to beat you because, quite frankly, on any given Saturday, 100,000 plus people all knew on any given play exactly what LSU was going to run. Looks like maybe those days are kind of coming to an end.
Well, it's one game, so we need to really wait and see. But the thing is, when you have to prepare for 4 or 5 key players to stop,
right,
it makes preparation a little more difficult. Let's be realistic. If you have to stop 1 or 2 players, it's easy.
Right.
But when they start spreading out, you got 4 or 5 players that you must give attention to. Trust me, it becomes a little more nightmarish for the defense.
Obviously, year to year, things change a lot. And coming into the contest, not a whole lot of folks were worried too much about the defense. We were all focusing on the new offense. But Texas showed us defensively, well, we still got some work to do, Coach.
A lot of work to do. And it's early. So my thing is, I watched the game and I saw some areas that certainly they're going to have to improve in, because as we go into the SEC, you got to be able to stop some of these easier runs and that they were breaking, and especially some in the past, they were just too far off those receivers.
Yeah. Normally, you might not worry about the next game, Northwestern State being a, quote, letdown game. But with the new offense and the defense showing some vulnerability, I don't think we're going to have to worry about this being a letdown game, will we?
Well, you don't know. You're still dealing with young people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I had
Clarence,
a feeling you were going to say that.
Oh, Clarence, you're getting it. You just don't know. I mean, I wouldn't take a chance because you really don't know yet.
Right.
You don't know the 2 games. They've only 2 games in. So we need to see what happens.
When we come back, we'll talk a little football up on the bluff when this week's edition of the Roger Cador Show continues. Stay with us.
Hi. For many years, I had to make tough decisions for my team and players. The decision for you is quite simple. If you have a house that is in need of repair, call my friend Dale. Dale buy houses. Recently, I spoke with Dale about my property. He gave me all of the do's and don'ts. He wanted me to be smart about the decision I was going to make. You ought to be smart too. Call Dale. He buy houses.
It was nearly a decade ago that Brett teamed up to Imagine Your Parks, and you imagined big. 12 beautiful community parks from one end of the parish to the other, 1 family-sized water park, and 5 other parks just for your dogs. You have places to splash and places to explore. You have games to play and camps galore. No matter what you like to do or see, visit Breck.org and see how together we have made Breck better than imagined.
Smart Baton Rouge business travelers travel out of Baton Rouge because BTR is so close and convenient, they're always one step ahead, rather than dead on their feet. So, isn't it about time you flew BTR? Baton Rouge Metro Airport.
My name is Dr. Ashley Blanche, chiropractic physician at Momentum Chiropractic and Sports Rehab. We are here to get you better faster if you suffer from any type of injury, ranging from sprain and strain injuries to nerve pain. If you have an injury and you have a question about it or want us to evaluate you, please give us a call at 225-218-6126, or you can visit our website, mymomentumcare.com, for more information about our services.
Hey, Coach Roger Cador here. There's something about teamwork that brings the best out in any business. When I need a tow, I call Roadrunner Towing. Roadrunner's 4 generations strong and homegrown right here in Baton Rouge.
Thanks, Coach. There's no job too large or too small. Call Roadrunner for quick, reliable, exceptional service. We don't want an arm and a leg, we just want your toes. And remember, take time each day to be a blessing to someone. Thank you.
Welcome back for segment 2 of this week's edition of the Roger Cador Show. Clarence Buggs and the coach at Scoreboards, Baton Rouge's newest sports grill, located at 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Shifting gears now, let's talk a little Jaguar football. Southern ended up being more than competitive against Memphis until the numbers difference between that level university and Southern University's level finally caught up with him, Coach.
Well, I think it's 65 scholarship compared to 85 or maybe 95 that they have at the D1 level. So that always going to play a key part toward the end of the game, and certainly did against Southern and Memphis.
Some people question teams, quote, playing up, but in reality, many of the athletes at the, quote, smaller schools relish the opportunity to play these teams to show what they can do, don't they? Yeah, they don't think like you and I think. They believe, kids believe they can move the mountains. Right. And all of that, so, you know, but they really want that opportunity. You have to be careful in football because of the injury factor. Yeah. Basketball, baseball, track and field is a little different. But when you start playing football, you probably running the risk of getting someone hurt. Yeah. Let's roll the highlights from the Jaguars heading up to take on Memphis in Game 2 of the 2019 season. The game is comprised, Coach, of 3 phases: offense, defense, and special teams. The latter of the 3 in this particular case and in this game, special teams, really let us down, didn't it? Well, yeah, when you don't play the complete game, good teams going to find that weakness and exploit it. And that's what happens. So, you know, Southern will get better when they start playing teams like them with the same amount of scholarships and some of the same weaknesses. I think they'll do quite well. And that's a perfect lead in to the next question. The record at this point in the season says 0-2, but those numbers are real deceptive, aren't they? They're real deceptive. They could have been 1-1 very easily. And you know, just turnovers hurt them. But you know what? I really think Coach Odom, being the type of coach he is, he's going to prepare them, correct those mistakes, and these kids will do quite well. After opening the season with 2 road games, how forward do you think the team is looking to finally playing at Mumford Stadium? Yeah, well, they're playing Walters, Edward Waters College. You better be careful of that team. Let me tell you why you have to be careful of that team. That team may not be an NCAA sanctioned school. Right. And what do those kind of schools get? All kind of players who are not, yeah, you know, that happened to us before. Right. So you gotta be careful. I don't know if that school is sanctioned, but they can get kids in school that are not gonna, that got in trouble, and they, you know, they could cause some trouble. So I always caution about those kind of teams. And of course, just like in the opening phases of the Southern and Memphis game, where we gave them our best shot, understanding that we're playing up, this week it could be the same role, only reversed, with Edward Waters looking to make a statement by knocking off a Southern University. That's right, and they're coming from the state of Florida, where they have a ton of athletes. You know what I'm saying? Just think about it. So let's not count our numbers too quick. We got to come out and play the game and do the X's and O's and make sure we execute. This game, of course, is now the annual Pete Richardson Classic. We really, really, really want a sellout crowd for this game, don't we? And Pete did so much for Southern. Southern was at a point in their football stage where he came in and really did some outstanding things. I mean, he put them on the map. They won Black National Championship. They won SWAC Championship year in and year out. So he did so many good things. So come out and show the man the appreciation that y'all have for him. Is that just a part of human nature? Many times we don't appreciate what we have until we don't have it any longer. Well, that's, you know, for some reason that has happened. And I've seen it happen. So, but you know what? I understand, but it's not right. If someone have done so much for you, you ought to show an appreciation. I think that's the right way to do it. Well, the good news is we have a Pete Richardson Classic celebrating what he's done for the university. He's done his part. Hopefully, come Saturday, fans will do ours. When we come back, black and gold time on The Roger Cador Show. Stay close.
Getting a letter from the IRS that you owe back taxes can be scary, but it doesn't have to be. Call Go Tax Resolution in Mandeville at 985-722-1040 today. We'll help stop garnishments, levies, and seizures immediately. With over 35 years of dealing directly with the IRS, our team of local professionals will help you pay the least amount possible. So if you owe back taxes to the IRS, you need help. Call the tax professionals at Go Tax Resolution in Mandeville at 985-722-1040. Your go-to tax relief.
Hi. For many years, I had to make tough decisions for my team and players. The decision for you is quite simple. If you have a house that is in need of repair, call my friend Dale. Dale buy houses. Recently, I spoke with Dale about my property. He gave me all of the do's and don'ts. He wanted me to be smart about the decision I was going to make. You ought to be smart too. Call Dale. He buy houses. Hey, Coach Roger Cador here. There's something about teamwork that brings the best out in any business. When I need a tow, I call Roadrunner Towing. Roadrunner's 4 generations strong and homegrown right here in Baton Rouge.
Thanks, Coach. There's no job too large or too small. Call Roadrunner for quick, reliable, exceptional service. We don't want an arm and a leg, we just want your toes. And remember, take time each day to be a blessing to someone. Thank you.
It was nearly a decade ago that Brett teamed up to imagine your parks, and you imagined big. 12 beautiful community parks from one end of the parish to the other, 1 family-sized water park, and 5 other parks just for your dogs. You have places to splash and places to explore. You have games to play and camps galore. No matter what you like to do or see, visit Breck.org and see how together we have made Breck better than imagined.
Welcome back for segment 3 of this week's edition of the Roger Cador Show. Again, we come to you each week from Scoreboards, Baton Rouge's newest sports grill, located at 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Coach, let's talk a little NFL now. The Saints opened the regular season with a dogfight against the Texans. But like all good teams, they found a way to win.
They almost found a way to lose it, too.
That's the old Saints, Coach.
With 30-some seconds, how could you? 2 pass and touchdown. I mean, you can't let them get behind you. And both times they got behind them.
Yeah.
And that was you can't let them beat you. So, but yeah, offensively they did a really good job. And Drew Brees was Drew Brees.
First time in 6 years the Saints win the season opener. How far does that go? Or is it just another game when you consider how long and grueling an NFL schedule is?
Well, it obviously hadn't meant much before because last year they did very well.
Good point.
You always want to win all your games, though, no matter what. That's the key, because that's another game you don't have to worry about winning. Mm-hmm. You know, so, you know, they go on the road next week to L.A., which is going to be a really difficult challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime you make that cross-country trip, it's a little difficult. People don't understand it unless you're an athlete and you go into a different time zone. It affects your sleep, your rest, and it affects sometimes performance.
Let's roll highlights from the season opener down in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome as we continue talking about the Saints. Can you think of any more pressure in all of professional football than what Will Lutz was under for that last walk-off win kick that he performed?
No, that was a lot of pressure for. Is he a rookie? I don't know if he is a rookie. I don't think so. But it's all kind of pressure, Clarence, that professional athletes are under, amateur athletes are under. And you know what? Just everyday life. Look at here. That's the pass we're talking about.
Right.
That's still used to be a Saints. He caught that pass in the end zone and they hit the quarterback. Boy, that was he stood in there. He knew he was going to get hit. That's when you got to, you know, he stood right there. Made such a great throw and a great catch by Kenny Steele.
Once again, Coach, officiating ended up leaving a lot to be desired. What is it with the Saints and bad calls?
Well, I didn't pay much attention to the officials. I try not to because they are a part of the game. And the one thing I really must say, the officials at the professional level try to do a good job, simply because they're going to be fired if they don't.
Right.
They're great at every game. You got me?
Right.
So I don't really have a lot of problem with them.
So from a fan perspective, to what extent should fans at this level expect officials to get it right on every call?
Never going to get it right. The human element. That's why you got replays and all of that.
Right.
So they're not going to get it right all the time.
But then what do you say to the fan that says, but coach, you just said they've got instant replay, they've got guys in New York watching at this level, shouldn't we expect them to get every call right? What do you say to that person?
That's a pretty good one. You sound like a fan. They usually come close to getting it right, but there are some things that we don't always understand. Some intricate part that when they make a call,
right,
they can't change it to a degree. You got me?
Yeah.
You know, so.
And quite frankly, to be honest about it, the overwhelming majority of the time, as fast as the game moves, they get the calls right. But unfortunately, it's the ones that come at the most inopportune time that puts that spotlight back on them.
Yeah.
And now, Houston, we got a problem.
Yeah. And I know it goes back to last year when that no call, that no call against the Rams in the playoff.
Right.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
They really missed that one.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But we've moved on.
Yeah. Speaking of the Rams, as you mentioned, next game up at their place. How contentious do you think that game is going to be, Coach?
It ought to be, but you know what? Keep in mind, it's just the second game of the year, and teams are still trying to iron some things out.
Right.
So we'll see what happens.
When we come back, we will put a big old bow and wrap up this week's edition of the Roger Cador Show. Stay close.
Do it, Kate. Hey, Coach Roger Cador here. There's something about teamwork that brings the best out in any business. When I need a tow, I call Roadrunner Towing. Roadrunner's 4 generations strong and homegrown right here in Baton Rouge.
Thanks, Coach. There's no job too large or too small. Call Roadrunner for quick, reliable, exceptional service. We don't want an arm and a leg. We just want your toes. And remember, take time each day to be a blessing to someone. Thank you.
My name is Dr. Ashley Blanche, chiropractic physician at Momentum Chiropractic and Sports Rehab. We are here to get you better faster if you suffer from any type of injury, ranging from sprain and strain injuries to nerve pain. If you have an injury and you have a question about it or want us to evaluate you, please give us a call at 225-218-6126, or you can visit our website, mymomentumcare.com, for more information about our services.
It was nearly a decade ago that Brett teamed up to Imagine Your Parks, and you imagine big. 12 beautiful community parks from one end of the parish to the other, 1 family-sized water park, and 5 other parks just for your dogs. You have places to splash and places to explore. You have games to play and camps galore. No matter what you like to do or see, visit Breck.org and see how together we have made Breck better than imagined.
Hi. For many years, I had to make tough decisions for my team and players. The decision for you is quite simple. If you have a house that is in need of repair, call my friend Dale. Dale Buy Houses. Recently, I spoke with Dale about my property. He gave me all of the do's and don'ts. He wanted me to be smart about the decision I was going to make. You ought to be smart too. Call Dale. He buy houses.
Some Baton Rouge business travelers travel out of Baton Rouge. Some don't. The ones that do know BTR is all about being closer, more convenient, with non-stops and short hops to anywhere their business takes them. They also know not flying BTR means more traffic, longer lines, and wasted time. So if it's about going from driveway to runway with a lot less highway, isn't it about time you flew BTR? Baton Rouge Metro Airport. It's about time.
Welcome back for the closing segment of this week's edition of the Roger Cador Show. Coach, the SEC in the latest poll has 3 of the top 4 teams in the country, 5 of the top 10. That's insane, Coach.
It tells you where all the great athletes are. They're in the SEC.
And on top of that, 3 of the top 4, 2 of those 3 are in our division, the Western Division of the SEC. What does that say to you?
LSU, Alabama, and Auburn. Auburn.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, isn't Alabama on the same side with LSU?
Alabama's in the West. Same with us. Yeah.
Auburn is also.
You look at LSU number 4 in one poll, number 5 in another poll. Even with all this buzz, with all this excitement, that doesn't mean squat if we can't beat Lil Nicky, right?
That's right. And you have to beat him. The championship goes through Alabama. Let's be realistic.
Yeah.
If you're going to win an SEC championship, it has to go through Alabama. Now, Georgia have done the best job against Alabama in the last 2 or 3 years. And it's because Kirby Smart used to be on that staff. He knows some tendencies. He knows some of Little Nicky's favorite plays. He knows something because he's given him a lot of trouble.
Over on the other side of town, can we stress again how important it is for us to pack Mumford Stadium for the Pete Richardson Classic this week?
Well, what we ought to do is take some money and throw on the field and have a big money scramble. Come on, get some people out there.
That'll get them out there.
Yeah, let's get them out there. So, no, but all jokes aside, come out and support the Pete Richardson Classic. It's a great idea.
Because it's not just about money. There are also recruiting concerns. If you have kids paying a visit there, who wants to come and play in front of a half-full stadium,
That's right. I'll agree with you.
Yeah. So, fans, it's the time for you to come out and do your part, show some appreciation to the great university that Southern is, and of course, a tip of the hat to Pete Richardson, who returned us to prominence as well. On behalf of the coach and, of course, the entire crew here at Scoreboards, Baton Rouge's newest sports grill, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, I'm Clarence Buggs. We'll see you next week with another edition of the Roger Cador Show. Till then, go Jags.